Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to configure Ltsp. I'm going to do this in a VM. As you can see here, I have selected two network adapters, one connected through my network and one custom VMnet 15, which will be the same in the tin client itself. So we're going to start on a Debian, and I'm also going to show you how to do it on Ubuntu. First, I'm going to show you how to do this on a Debian, and after that I will show you the differences in Ubuntu. So first we're going to configure the network adapters. So I will have to go with a text editor, nano or phi, but I will use nano. Etc network interfaces. Here I will include the lines low hot plug ETH1. That is our second network adapter. Face H1 inet and static address. So ETH0 will be our one site adapter, so it will be connected to my network, and the ETH1 will be the internal network. So I'm going to give it an address. We're going to save this. So after these adjustments, let me just if down ETH1 and ETH0 and if up them again. So I have config -a. You can see ETH0 there on top has an address from my network, and ETH1 has the static IP address. Now let's use the command @get update to check if the internet is working and to make sure our device is up to date. Now let's start with the Ltsp configuration. We're going to type in the command @git install Ltsp Now let's start with the configuration of the Ltsp. We're going to type in apt-get install Ltsp server standalone. We could have also typed in the command @get install Ltsp server, which would result in a smaller file to be downloaded, but a lot of features missing. After this, we're going to configure the image that will be used for the client. We will do this with the command Ltsp build client. Now I can also enter the argument --arch i386. This is for x32 devices. So if you're unsure if your device can support x64, just enter this argument. Now I will not use this because I'm sure my client supports x64. So we can run this command and wait until it's installed. So as you can see, the Ltsp client installation has completed successfully. A few lines above that, we can read that we have to add the following line to etc exports. So that's something we will do in just a moment. If you want to try this installation on Ubuntu, the beginning is exactly the same, but you just don't have to do this line, you don't have to insert that in etc exports. So let's go to etc exports. So at the end, we will insert opt or /opt ltsp star ro no underscore root squash async no subtree check. We're going to exit and save this. Okay, now we will configure the DHCP. So we're going to go to the file with any text editor you have, etc DHCP /dhcpd.conf. So we're going to adjust this, the domain name server, to 8.8, DNS of Google, and we're going to insert the subnet. Make sure it's in the same range of your static IP. At the end of this file, we will include the file etc ltsp dhcpd.conf. We're going to exit and save. Now we're going to go to that file. So we can change this. So you can go to that file. In this file we have to adjust some numbers. So we're going to adjust the subnets, the same as the one we did in DHCP, but we're going to give it a range after the range of the DHCP. So for example, this range. We're also going to adjust this to the Google DNS server. Okay, on this line you can see option root path opt ltsp i386. So if you have inserted the argument --arch i386 on the command ltsp build client, then you can leave this. If you didn't insert that argument, you have to change it to AMD64. So this is a folder, and we're going to check if this folder really exists. So this just as a check. We're going to save this. We're going to now we're going to change the directory to Ltsp, and we're going to show the directory, and we can see AMD64, so this is correct. If you see i386, that means that you will have to adjust the Ltsp file to i386, or don't change it to AMD64. So now we're going to restart the kernel that is used in Debian for our client. So that is service nfs kernel server restart. So if the service is properly restarted, then we can check if the configuration really works by going to the tin client. So as you can see, our network adapter is in a custom VMnet 15, the same as our server. So we're going to start up the client. You can see that an IP is given. And the client starts. The startup job will take around 30 seconds. Here you can insert the default username of your server. So mine is Debian with a password. Now we have logged in. So if you want to test another user, you can simply add the user. So add user test, and you will have to enter a password. The rest you can leave open. Yes. Now just to make sure, I'm going to do an apt-get update. If I go back to the tin client, I use the username test and passwords. You can log in. If you want to install something on the client, you just have to install it on the server. So if I install the program Pigeon, apt-get install Pigeon, if I now go to the client, I will find the program Pigeon. We can also change the desktop environment on our client, and we have to install the environment on our server. So I'm going to use the command apt-get install GNOME Core. Be sure to use the command apt-get update. And now we're going to take a look at the client. As you can see, our desktop environment has changed to GNOME with the new programs installed. So if you want to do the Ltsp configuration on an Ubuntu, the first steps are the same. If you go to etc network interfaces file, you may have to use a different name for the network adapter, ENS38 it was here. So the first steps are the same. You don't have to include the line at etc exports. If you made changes to the server, you can update the image in Ubuntu via the command Ltsp update image. So by default, Ubuntu uses another file system for the client than Debian. Debian uses NFS and Ubuntu uses NBD. So if you want to restart the kernel for the client, we're going to use the command service nbd server restart. Now we can check on the client if things work on the Ubuntu. As you can see, the client works on Ubuntu as well. You can log in with the default user. Mine is Ubuntu. So we were able to log in on Ubuntu and then complete our task for today. We can configure Ltsp on Debian and on Ubuntu. Thank you for watching.